Good morning. Did you collect some rocks and observe it? No. The, please collect the rocks and observe it. The tiny grains that make up rocks are called minerals that we have seen and studied, and types of rocks also. Diamond is a hard. Some rocks are hard, some rocks are soft. Hard rocks are diamond is a hard rock. Granites are also hard rock, but chalk and coal. Coal is not a hard rock; it's a soft. But chalk is also a soft rock which can break easily. So these are the rocks, and the soil, the layers of soil also we have seen. What are the layers of soil? Do you remember? The first, when you take beaker and put some soil, pour water and shake it. So that activity we have seen. The first, what is the first layer which is formed at the bottom of the jar? That is gravel. Then above that, some tiny particles, grains are there, grain type of stones are there, that is sandy soil, and above that fine soft particles are moving in the water, that is called the clay soil, and above that, top of that, you will find some sticks, leaves are floating, and animals material also are floating on the top of the water, that is called uh, that is called that is brown in color. Do you remember what is that soil? It is a humus. It is a humus soil. Humus, dark brown in soil, which provides nutrient to the soil and keeps the soil fertile. So humus is a good for plantation. Humus soil is a good for the plantations that we have seen the layers of the soil. Now the soil contains air. This activity also let us see how. Take a beaker or jar, pour some garden soil and put some garden soil into that and pour water to the level. What do you think? When you take the pinch of mud into your hand, what do you think? It's a rough. That rough means in between these things you will find in between the stones, small tiny stones, you will find the space. When the moment you pour water and till equal, after some time you can see the air bubbles are coming out of that. So whatever the amount of air is they occupied here in between the particles, so that will make a way and start coming out of this soil. It shows that soil has air in it. This activity, this practical shows that soil has air in it. And the next one, soil contains water in it. Take one jar, put some soil into it and put lid and keep that box in the hot sun, and you can open the lid after some time. What do you find? The droplets of water droplets, you will find it on the lid. How? The moment you keep it in the hot sun, whatever the amount of water is there, due to the heat of the sun, it changes into water vapor, and the vapor, when it touches to the lid, it changes back to the water. It changes back to the water. This shows that soil also contains water in it. Water is trapped into the soil in the form of moisture. That type of soil you can take and keep it in the any glass jar, any jar or any box or anything. You can put lid and keep it in the hot sun. This activity also you can do it. This shows that soil contains water in it, and in this type soil contains air. In this, if you pour water, you can find, you will see the bubbles, air bubbles are coming out the moment you pour water in, because when you are taking soil into the box itself, the small tiny particle which will not stick to each other, so it has small space in between the particles, and air will be there inside it, and the moment you pour water, it will make its way to come out of this soil, and in the form of air bubbles you can see. Okay, these are the two activities. We can do it at home also and observe these two activities. In the next, now we'll see the types of soil. See, you might have seen the different types of soil. When you take soil in your hand, see, after a few steps, if you go to some other place, you will find the red color soil, brown color soil, or dark black color soil. There are different colors of soil as well, and there are different types of soil is there. See, sometimes you might have gone to some other places where there is a seashore is there. Playing near the seashore in the sand is very fun. But when you take the handful of sand, what do you find? Take it a pinch of sand into your two fingers, what do you find? It becomes rough. It is rough. So that is called sandy soil. The tiny small stones, grains only you will find it. What is that? That type of sand. That is called a sandy. As much as water you pour in it, it will be going inside it. It absorbs that water. But it cannot hold water, but it holds air. There is a lot of space between the particles. So, lot of sand in whichever one it is there, that is called a sandy soil. Mostly this type of soil you will find it near the seashore, or whoever is constructing the building, then you can see they bring it from the river side and all. They will bring it and construct. So that is what is sandy soil. Sandy soil, it absorbs more and more water. Water will be going inside it. It cannot hold, but it can hold air. It cannot hold water. Why? Because there is a lot of space between the particle. In between the particle, there is a lot of space, so water can be easily enter through these particles. So that is why it is not good for the plantations. So very few plants can grow in this type of soil. This is called a sandy soil. Sandy soil can hold air, but it cannot hold water. Why? Because there is a lot of space between the stones, between the granular tiny particles. That's why water can be easily enter into this soil, and this type of soil is not, many plants cannot grow into this. Very few plants can grow in this type of soil. Then next is clay soil. Have you seen any time the pot maker? He makes the pots and gives any shape to it, whichever shape he wants to give. he will give that type of shape. Why? Because this type, that is very sticky and very soft soil. So that soil is called clay soil. Clay soil. It's very sticky. It can hold water, but cannot hold air, because it is so sticky that air cannot enter into that. How much water you can pour, that water will be is there. So clay soil, only the potter can use. Pot maker can only use this. So in this type of soil also, many plants cannot, very few plants will grow. Not all plants can grow in this type, because it holds lot of water but not air. This type of soil is called a clay soil. Then again one more, that is third type of soil is what? It is the mixture of both sandy soil and clay soil, is called a loam soil. Loam soil is the mixture of equal amount mixture of sand soil and clay soil. It can hold air also, it can hold water also. Why? Because sand and clay both are there. Sandy soil, there are the spaces between the particles, and the clay soil, it's very sticky. If you mix it, and both, it can hold water and loam soil, LAOM. Loam soil is a good soil for the plants. To grow healthy plants, it can good texture of this soil. It can hold both. It can hold both, means can hold air and water. Is what? This equal amount of this sand soil and clay soil. Both the mixture of this soil is called a loam soil. It can hold air and water. So this is a good soil for the plantations. So good soil for the plantations. Healthy soil is one of the most important factor of growing healthy plants. So these are the types of soil. Sandy soil will find lot of space between the particles. That's why water can enter easily. So in this type of soil, very few plants can grow. It can hold air but cannot hold water. And second, clay soil, it can hold water but cannot hold air. That's why very many plants cannot grow in this type of soil. And loam soil is the mixture of both. Loam soil can hold air and water. This is the mixture, equal amount of mixture of this both the soil is called a loam soil. Soil is not only for the plants, but it is a home. Soil is home to living creatures which help to keep the soil healthy. What are the creatures that are living in the soil? One is beetle, then rabbit, earthworm, and moles. Moles are living in the soil. They keep the soil, keep on opening, making the loose. It makes the soil loose. In whichever soil you find, the earth from that soil is good for the plants. And soil is home to living creatures which help to keep the soil healthy. Healthy in the sense of whichever, if the soil is lot of water and all, but these ants and earthworms, they will keep on removing the soil and making it way. So in that way, the air goes inside the soil and gives root. So this is the one. Soil is home to living creatures. You can open what are the creatures are living inside the soil. Here you can see these are the ants, rabbits, earthworm, snail, and moles also are other creatures that live in the soil. Soil is home to living. These are the most common living creatures in the soil. So without soil, plants would have no place to grow. Soil is the most important one for the plantations. So types of soil we have seen: sandy soil, clay soil, and loam soil. These are in the sandy soil, it can hold air but cannot hold water. That's why very few plants can grow in this type of soil. That means when you take a sandy soil and pour water into that, because it can enter water very easily. It can enter the water very easily. Why? Because there is a lot of spaces between the particles, between the sand particles. So that's why it can hold air but it cannot hold water. So near the seashore you might have seen many things. When you play, it is very easy, it is loose. When you hold it and just leave it like this, it can fall down very easily. It is not sticky. So that is why sandy soil, it can hold air but it cannot hold water. Clay soil, it can hold water but it cannot hold air, because who uses this type of soil? Potter, pot maker. Pot maker uses this type of soil and he can give any type of shape. It is so sticky. It's so sticky and soft. So that's why it can hold water but it cannot hold air. That's why many type of plants cannot grow in this type of soil. Loam soil is the mixture of equal amount of both the soils. So both the soil, that is why it can hold air and water. That is why this type of soil is good for the plants. Any type of plants can grow in this type of soil. Here, soil is home to living creatures which help to keep the soil healthy. So whatever the bacteria, whatever the germs are there, so this may eat and keep the soil healthy. So sometimes it so happens that ants, they make the soil loose so that the air can enter inside the air. Air can enter inside the soil and give air to the plants, and it can breathe air. These creatures also can breathe air. So all living things need air to breathe in. So in that way, when they make way, air also can enter into this soil. Whichever the creatures are living in this soil, so they can breathe in air. In this class we have studied many more things. Do the activities at home and observe that. Read the lesson page number 207. You can read this. In the next class, we will be writing new words and objective type. Thank you.